Hey, this is William for attackofthefanboy.com, and you're listening to our Day Zero wrap-up for E3 2017. With me is Kyle, and we're talking about all the games we saw today. Kyle's our man on the ground in Los Angeles. I'm taking the year off for the first time in like 6 years, and I have to say, I'm enjoying E3 from home.
I bet you are. It's not been a great one so far.
So far, I'm like, this is not bad. Like cooking food and watching streams.
I flew out at 7 in the morning on Sunday. That's East Coast time. And so I arrive here and I've been going all day. And now it's 11 p.m. Pacific time, 2 a.m. East Coast time. It's been a hell of a day.
Yeah. Let's take it from the top of your day. Outside of, waking up, getting on the plane, doing all the shitty stuff. You got to see some stuff. Is it under embargo?
Yes.
The Activision stuff
is under embargo.
It is?
Yep. Yeah.
Till when?
Till Tuesday.
Well, never mind. We'll take it from the next step, which was Microsoft's unveiling of the most powerful console ever made. How was that? It's the same exact thing as every other year.
I really was not a fan of Microsoft's show. And I'm seeing a lot of... It seems like a very divisive show. And I'm getting that not only from the internet, because I pop on Reddit and other communities while I wait in line
and
for
let
things.
And let the hive mind shape your opinion of things.
Yeah,
I hear you.
So I'm trying to understand what the hive mind thinks, because to me, I didn't enjoy it. I thought it was a very poor show.
Why?
Because here's the thing: the Xbox One X, terrible name.
I don't think it is a bad name. If you take out the Xbox part of it, the One X sounds good.
It's a terrible name.
It's not horrible. It's way better than the Xbox One. I mean,
this is not better. It's still the same name, but with an X at the end.
Yeah, but you can't. I mean, it's just better than the Xbox One.
It's it's going to cause so much confusion.
Think about
grandmas.
Xbox One X, Xbox One S. Which one did you want? Which one did you want, grandson?
You tell your grandma, I want the Xbox One X. She goes to the store. He said he wants the
Xbox One.
And then they're gonna put two of them in front of her. One is $250.
We're making fun of the elderly
$4.99
in this podcast. Welcome to the show. Anyone over the age of 65, you've probably.
So, okay. So, I mean, the console looks good. The price was good.
It does look good.
Based on what they're saying, all of this native 4K, 60 frames per second, $500. That's a good bargain. It's a good deal. I have questions about their overall strategy. The idea of like people still want a console, but they want it to be the most powerful console. And they're willing to put $500 down, but they're not going to go and build their own PC. I think that I don't know that works. There's a reason that most console generations, the most powerful system isn't necessarily the winner. In fact, I don't think it ever has been until the PS4.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily care if Microsoft wins anything. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if they sell more consoles than Sony or Nintendo or fucking anybody. To me, it doesn't really matter. To me, and we've talked about this when we used to do regular podcasts, is that Microsoft getting
the games?
Yeah, Microsoft kind of getting pushed back on their heels has made them branch out into some different types of things that they might not have done, I mean, they're still releasing all their big games, their Halos, their Gears of War, their Forza games every fucking year. But, you're getting... There's a lot of different types of games in there. And, it has pushed them... Like, they fucked up the beginning of this console cycle so bad that it's now like, okay, now you basically get a 4K capable PC for $500.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the way I'm looking
No,
at it.
yeah. I have been
I paid more for my 1080. You know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not I play games in 4K. You know, I can play Ori and the Blind Forest in 4K. I can play Watch Dogs 2 in 4K. I can play Prey in 4K. You know, new games in 4K. But they're not optimized. I mean, you understand the plight of the PC gaming scene. It's not it's not as uniform. So these games don't run. Some of them don't run well. They have problems. They need patches. I mean, at least on console, you're gonna get a more, I think, a better experience. Don't you think? Like usually from a performance standpoint, it's pretty uniform on the console.
It used to be. I'm worried that that's starting to drift away with how splintered everything is. But I mean, yeah, it's still going to be there. It's still going to be better than what you get on PC. I think that the thing
It's just
for me,
because
though,
there's
is
so many different PC types of setups. They can't develop. That's what I'm saying. You know, it's more of a uniform thing. They know the exact specs they're trying to hit, and if the frame rate's going to be consistent. You know, so if they're able to achieve 4K and all that stuff. And you're going to get a lot of like backwards compatibility. I mean, how can you knock what Microsoft did today? Like basically said everything that we've ever created, we're going to give you access to if you still own it. The amount of people that still own it are probably zero. But, you know, like...
No, I messaged you when they announced the Xbox, the original Xbox backward compatibility. I was like, best announcement of the show.
Well, I mean, it's just all those things start
I was
adding up into
genuinely
like
excited.
their culture and what it sounds like they're trying to do, you know? Mm-hmm. They just seem like a nicer company at this point.
They do. I agree
that it was evil Microsoft. Who knows?
That they are making good and interesting business decisions, but at the end of the day, they showed 42 games. That's the number that they quoted over and over, and I was maybe interested in like 2 of them that weren't games that I'm going to get on other systems, meaning probably PC. Like, it was so inundated with these quote exclusives that weren't really exclusives, and it was so built off of these third-party releases that are multi-platform. And I guess what they're going for is we have the Xbox One X, and that will be the best place to play Assassin's Creed Origins or these other games that we put on our show. Like what's the BioWare?
Anthem.
Anthem. Yeah. I mean, I'm probably going to get that on PC. I don't know. So that's where my excitement dwindles, is when I realize that as much as I'm probably going to get an Xbox One X and I'll watch Netflix on it, just like I do my Xbox One S. But I don't game on it all that often. I really don't. And this show didn't win me over.
I don't game anymore. Period. I play games for review. That's it. No, I mean, I play right now. I'm playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So for when I have free time to play games, that's what I'm playing. Or so for that to come to Xbox, and I said that to you. That's a good get for them.
Yeah, that's a very good get. Yep.
3 million people on PC are paid money for early access to that game. It is fun. I know you haven't played it, right?
No, I watched some videos and I really want to play it. I just haven't had the time. I've been playing other stuff.
It's great. It's great. It's a good game. I just don't know. Like, I'm sure the Xbox community will take to that game as well. It seems right in that wheelhouse. It seems like a perfect fit. I kind of assumed that one of either Sony or Microsoft would do it. Would try to go for exclusivity. But I think that you're right. There were a lot of games that are...
It was just very
you come back to that same argument of like, okay, well, I could play Cuphead on Xbox One or Windows 10. I'll just get it for PC.
Yeah.
Ori, you could play it on... I get that. But there is something to be said about the
Which that's
ease,
I mean
the
that's a
ease of
decision
just
that they're
playing the
making.
game on your console. I would prefer to do that than run an HDMI cable to my 4K TV because I don't like playing on a monitor. I don't even have a 4K monitor on my PC setup, so it's like
Yeah, it's a fair point.
I'm in the other camp where people are making the argument. Well, not that many people have 4K TVs. I don't have a 4K monitor, so for me to play my games in 4K on PC, I actually have to hook it up to my television, which is, a pain in the ass. It's not as easy as just
Sure.
pressing the button and firing up your digital download. I mean, there's a lot to be said about, the ease of access for a console.
I'm really wondering if you sat Phil Spencer down and asked him what he saw the gaming market looking like 10 years from now, if he would admit that consoles are really kind of going away in a lot of ways, and they're shifting. Almost, I look at the Xbox One X almost as the fulfillment of the Steam machine ideology. You remember when Valve was pushing the Steam machines? And that was the next big thing in gaming?
I mean, Microsoft's made it pretty clear that that's their intention. I mean,
yeah,
this gaming machine was a Trojan horse, and they tried to do it with the Xbox One. I mean, you saw them; it just failed. But I would say that the executives at Sony and Nintendo they are probably in a strong disagreement with is the console market dead or dying or going away? Sony sold 50 million PlayStation 4s.
And continue to sell them very quickly today.
Yeah, I don't think the console market is changing. I think that PC gaming and more savvy PC users are probably cropping up because of gaming and Nvidia is selling a lot of graphics cards, and that's great for the industry. But I don't think consoles are necessarily going anywhere. Maybe, but I don't think so. Not with the way that these consoles have been selling. They'll keep putting them out as revisions. I mean, then people will buy them. We could see an Xbox One X2.
Oh, jeez. XX.
In 2 years or 3 years.
That was one of the
We'll
best
definitely see like a
takes on the
PlayStation
name.
Pro 2 or whatever the fuck that is next year. Maybe even tomorrow. Who knows? Sony loves to just shove it in Microsoft's ass.
What does
At
Sony
E3.
do to respond to this?
They don't need to do
Nothing?
anything, probably. But no, they don't need
They
to do
just
anything
keep
because
selling?
it's fucking $4.99. If they would have priced it at $3.99, they would have had to do something. Now they don't have to do anything from a competitive standpoint.
Honestly,
because
like,
not everybody's going to be able to. Okay, 4K gaming is one thing, but first of all, not everybody owns a 4K TV. Second of all, there's only the real tech-savvy people understand true 4K gaming and checkerboarding and that sort of shit, that they do on the PlayStation 4 Pro to get to 4K. So for a lot of people, they're going to look at the box, it's going to say 4K, and the Xbox One X is going to say 4K. And most people aren't going to know the fucking difference. I mean, you can't get that across in a minute presentation, a commercial or something.
Sony still has exclusives. Sony has, looking at what they could show tomorrow, they show a trailer of The Last of Us Part 2, and they've already impressed me more than Microsoft did today. Like, that's I want to play.
So you're saying Sony's E3 2016 press conference beat Microsoft's E3 2017 press conference?
It did.
It's basically what you're saying. That's a shame.
To be fair, that was a good show. Sony's 2016 show. Sony knows how to do E3. The only problem is they don't know how to deliver on the promises that they make. So all those games that they announced last year, we're waiting to look at them again this year. God of War is going to be there, I'm sure. Days Gone is going to be there. Last of Us Part 2. It's a repeat, but it's games that are not only games that I really, really want to play, but they are exclusives. And as much as it hurts, I appreciate that Microsoft is killing the exclusive in a lot of ways, because it is at its heart an anti-consumer thing. But at the end of the day, if you want me to buy your console, I've got to have a reason. And if all of your games are available on PC and PlayStation 4 or one or the other, I start to lose that reason. I start to lose that excitement.
For you, though. I don't think you can put yourself in other people's shoes. In you say that because you own a graphics card that's more powerful than that console.
Yeah.
You know, most people don't. Most people don't spend $700 on a graphics card. I'm willing to go out on a limb and say a lot of people don't own traditional PCs anymore. They have laptops and tablets and shit like that.
The PC gaming market is
but
really
the PC
growing.
Gaming market, but that is not a. I think that's still a niche market. You know, it's not. I don't.
I mean, you just said
I'm
like
guessing
3 million
that
people
Nvidia has not sold
PlayerUnknown's
50 million GTX 1080s. No,
but
it's not
they
even
sold,
close.
I mean, those things were sold out for a long time, so they probably sold 1 million, 2 million.
Perhaps it's a big market, but I don't know. The way there's so much piracy on PC, I just don't. I mean, I don't see the like gaming going that route. I just don't. But you're not going to get these people to say, "Hey, honey, let me put this fucking tower with this cooling machine right next to our television in the living room." I just don't see it. It's just a matter of convenience.
No, I mean, I do agree that the console still has a place. I enjoy having consoles.
Yeah, and for $500, it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
At $399, like I said, I think everybody thought that was the good price. But $499 is still a decent price, because a year ago when we were talking about this, we're like, this thing's got to cost like $800.
Yeah.
If it's going to do 4K, 60
really
frames per second.
At the price. Yeah.
Because
which
my computer definitely costs more than $500. It costs probably, I have a $400 processor and a $600 graphics card. And that's just that. So there's $1,000 right there.
Yeah. I think that
I don't know if a processor's $400.
I needed a solid game that made me excited for the Xbox One X. And they just did. They tried to sell me on two different things. They sold me on the console, and they tried to sell me on this selection of games. And I'm kind of middling on both. And if they had something big, which I'm racking my brain to think of what Microsoft exclusive would get me excited. Because Halo, I love the series. I'm not too big on it lately. Gears of War, I'm kind of meh on. I don't know.
Well, the answer to your question, Kyle, is they don't have anything. I mean, they're all on both PC and Xbox One. I think Microsoft is okay. It sounds like they're okay with, like, okay, we're going to try and capture the PC market and Xbox One as our console for the masses.
I'm even saying just console exclusive. I'm not saying that they have to lock.
They don't have
the
any
Xbox One X. Yeah,
I don't think they have any console exclusives. Maybe have you State of Decay? It's a Windows 10 game as well. State of Decay 2.
Fine.
You don't like the look of that game? Did you play the original?
Yeah, I played it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Last night looked pretty fucking good.
That looked really cool.
Blade Runner sort of.
No, they had a good selection of indies, but at the same time, I mean, those aren't really going to look that much better on the Xbox One X. Those could probably run just fine on the Xbox One S. Ori, I don't know that that's going to get a huge graphical bump on the Xbox One X. I'm excited for Ori, though.
Ori looks... I've played Ori and the Blind Forest in 4K. It looks great. It looks fucking awesome.
Did it look that much better than when you played it In 1080p?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. When I looked at it, it looks good, but I mean, absolutely, yeah. Everything looks better in 4K. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you. For the last couple of years, I've really like Crackdown. I'm not super excited about that game. Sea of
Notice
Thieves.
that they didn't
Not
say
super excited
anything
about that.
about. Oh yeah, Sea of Thieves look good. Crackdown. I'm waiting to find out if they ever mention cloud computing with Crackdown ever again, because that was a major selling point for it, and it was almost completely bullcrap.
I mean, they can't just lie, can they? It's E3, Kyle, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, everyone's
lie during E3.
Everyone's wondering if Anthem is going to get a downgrade at some point, because that looked good. Am I excited about it?
Anthem was like the best game I saw today, I think, in my opinion.
It graphically looked good as soon as it started getting into the Destiny loot shooter stuff. Not that Destiny is good. I'm not getting into that argument. But
we know you're
it was
a
just
fan
like
of the walking simulators, Kyle.
No, but it was just like another.
Talk to people. Hey,
Do we need another loot shooter in the marketplace? We've got Destiny. We've got The Division. We've got Destiny 2. BioWare. This is BioWare IP, a new IP from the makers of Mass Effect and Knights of the Old Republic. And you're giving me a loot shooter. I don't know about that. It looked gorgeous.
I thought it looked cool, and I like loot shooters. So like Destiny for me, I do like Destiny. For that to have those same sort of mechanics and look like that, it kind of makes Destiny look like shit. If it turns out that it looks like that, I mean, You're right. It could get a downgrade, but you never know. I mean, that was a good looking trailer or gameplay trailer. Who knows if it's going to be real or not? But I mean, they said this is what the game is. I mean, the UI was super clean. I mean, all that stuff just looked amazing. The city when it first started and you're walking through with all the different types of beings there, and then meeting up with your teammates and they're just warping in. I mean, I don't know. I've seen a lot of bullshit at E3, but. And it all seemed fake, but who knows?
Yeah.
If it does turn out, I don't know. The Darwin Project. Come on, you gotta get on board with some of this shit. Minecraft in 4K, Kyle. The Black Desert MMO.
That was the weirdest demo I've ever seen. The Darwin Project. The guy
was
comes
just
out
screaming?
and starts screaming this weird rundown of what was going on, and that followed like right after they announced that PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds was coming. It's like, here's Battle Royale. It's finally coming to the Xbox. Also, here's another Battle Royale game that probably won't be as good. It was so weird.
That was kind of a weird, like, maybe they just got that at maybe they got PlayerUnknown's at like the last second, and they're like, we gotta throw this in here somewhere. And we gotta put it before our piece of shit one.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Yeah,
but,
it was a little bit weird.
I mean, the game may be okay. It was jarring. There was a lot of weird stuff with Microsoft's conference where it was trailer after trailer, and I don't know if that's good or bad, because the pomp and where people come out and talk forever.
You cannot be pleased, Kyle.
I know. I'm saying it was just at certain points it was just a little much, where it was going one after the other, and a lot of those were like this Xbox One console launch exclusive, like
gameplay exclusive reveal.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Is what I said a couple of times. Is this an exclusive?
They're just hedging their bets.
Or is this an exclusive,
timed
for the press conference?
Yeah. So I'm anxious to see what Sony shows, just to compare and see what's going on. I mean, Microsoft is just throwing games at us, and the problem is a lot of them just didn't stick. I'm probably going to as well. That's
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, we can talk bullshit about the console all day, but
Yeah.
I like the look of it. It's nice, form factor wise. I like the
What
size of it.
what
Obviously, for the
grade would you give Microsoft's
on the press
conference?
conference,
Yeah.
C minus. No, I probably like. I don't know. I've been to a bunch of them over the last years. It didn't have Usher. I mean, it didn't have some of the crazy shit that they've done in the past. Like, there have been some weird fucking press conferences I've been to for Microsoft. It was, I mean, they've kind of laced shit up and they've got it, they're trying to do something very specific. You hear
They had a
people
Porsche.
talking all day long, every day, in these hive mind forums that you like to go to about, well, Microsoft doesn't have any games. They don't have any games. They just showed 20, 30 games that are going to... okay, you can say whatever you want.
That's a point that I was going to get into right at the beginning. Yes, they showed 40 games, but I only care about a couple of them.
They're not talking to you, apparently.
Just because you throw games at
They're
me.
not talking to 1080 Ti owners, okay? If you own a 1080 Ti, they should have said, you can leave now. You can just go to the door because you're not going to be impressed.
That.
I'm sorry.
It's not just that I could play them on PC. It's that a lot of them I didn't like. It opened with this gorgeous desert.
Forza Motorsport 7. You do not own a computer. You won't play that because you don't like driving games, but you have to admit that it looked very good in motion.
It did, and you know what? It was a better game before I knew it was Forza. when it was a random, good-looking desert game, I was excited, and then it popped with Forza, and I went to sleep. And then they pulled out a Porsche. Talked about a Porsche.
I don't think I've been to a Microsoft
5 minutes.
That doesn't have a car, like an actual car.
It didn't descend from the ceiling this time, so that's it's an improvement in my book.
I don't know. Shit's always interesting.
A couple of the indies looked
get
good.
People excited. There's a lot of car people out there, Kyle. You have to understand. People like cars.
I know, but I'm not one of them, so I'm not gonna say that I'm excited for Forza. There were a few of the indie games that looked good. I'm excited for Ori, The Last Light,
But here's the takeaway. See, and here's what I was arguing with you about earlier is that, okay, so games like Metro, games like Assassin's Creed, games like, well, you're only going to be able to play PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds on consoles on Xbox One. State of Decay 2. Oh no, not State of Decay because that's an exclusive. But all the games that they didn't talk about, they're just saying, okay, we need you to assume some things. Madden's going to look better on the Xbox One X. Mm-hmm. Every third Call of Duty, I'm guessing that all of these games are going to look better on the Xbox One X.
Is it too late for that, though?
Too late?
I mean, yeah, gamers
Why do you think
at
it's
this
too
point
late?
have made the jump to this generation. Every gamer out there has a current gen console. Is the improvement of the Xbox One X enough for them to jump ship from PS4 if that's what they went with? Those 50 million people that bought PS4s what percentage of them are going to be sold
I think you
by
have
this
a weird.
to the point that they go out and get one?
What percentage? I'm not sure, but it really depends because if last year when the PlayStation 4 Pro was kind of revealed and all that stuff was going on, anybody who followed that knew that Microsoft had a console coming. So if they had a 4K TV, they might have said, and they were looking to upgrade that console, they might have said, well, maybe I'll wait and see what's going on with this thing. Because it was still kind of like up in the air. Is this actually going to happen? These are bold promises, So maybe you do have some pent-up demand for something that matches a TV that was bought in the last year or two. You know what I'm saying? You might. You very well may have that. You might have a lot of people who jumped over from Xbox to PlayStation in this generation, and now they're like, maybe I have a PS4, I haven't upgraded that, I've got this TV, or I'm in the market for a TV, maybe I should do this. I mean, it is hard to argue. You have the capable graphics card. You've played games in 4K. It's a amazing experience, in my opinion. Like, anything I play in 4K, I'm like, oh, wow, this looks fucking awesome. This is way better than anything I've ever seen. In terms of just how sharp everything is and how...
I wouldn't say that 4K by itself is that. I sometimes play in 1080 and just jack up all of the other settings, and that's a better experience to me.
I don't know. A lot of games I'm able to run, like, maxed out at 4K.
Yeah.
I mean, at least at the frame rates that they're made to be played at. You could see those games last year, and I was talking about it with Forza Horizon 3 and Gears of War 4, all these games were ready. Like, you could see they're ready to be on that console at solid frame rates and at 4K. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm buying one.
I'd give them a C.
B? I didn't mean C minus. C?
C.
D? They all sound the same. I can't hear you. You're in Los Angeles. What'd you say?
C. C, C, C.
You're going to have to do a call sign. C as in Charlie.
Yes, Charlie.
All right. C as in Charlie from Kyle.
Yep.
I'd give them actually, people wanted games. They got a lot of games. If you're a console player, you saw a bunch of games for every different genre. Everything. You might be able to play them some other places. If you get a Scorpio, you'll be able to play them in what I'm assuming will be their best states. I would give them a B+. I would give them an A if it would have been $3.99. Now on to the shit show of the day.
Oh God.
No. What that would have been better, right? If they would have brought the price down.
Yeah.
$4.99. They kind of just slipped that fucking thing in there.
Yeah.
Like, and it's going to be available for $4.99. We'll see you later, guys. You guys have a good one. Take a look at Anthem. But that wasn't, I mean, I'm surprised my computer didn't explode earlier when Bethesda revealed that they're bringing back paid mods.
Oh my God.
To Skyrim and Fallout 4. Because the first thing I saw was on Reddit, and I'm like, they're like, we're gonna show, like, we got to band together on this. Was what I read. Like the first post.
I mean, it worked last time.
It did work last time. It was only active for like a day, but they also had some problem in kind of moderating. People weren't stealing mods and shit, and then taking them and reposting them and trying to make money off of other people's shit. So they have the creation. I got the creation tools or whatever it's called. I've got to pull up my Bethesda information. You were there. You went to this. Bethesda's been throwing basically a party at E3 for the last few years.
They put together a nice little setup. They do that every year. This year was a little bit dialed up. It was the usual Bethesda dialed to 11 because it was a whole area with a Ferris
they had
wheel.
Nothing to show you.
And I was walking around and I'm like, we got an Elder Scrolls area. They're showing Elder Scrolls Online. We got Quake Champions. We got Doom. We got Fallout. They had 2 hidden areas for the 2 new games that they announced. And that was it. Everything else was just talking about stuff that was already out for 30 minutes, which I was happy that it was 30 minutes because they didn't have chairs there. So I had been standing for 2 hours at the party or event or whatever, and then I get to stand for another 30 minutes to watch the show.
In quotation marks. The show.
Yeah.
I really wasn't that impressed by it. I'm glad it was one of those things where the only 2 things that were actually excited, you would actually get excited for, were leaked. So even if maybe they would have built up a little bit more hype for Wolfenstein 2 and The Evil Within 2 if they weren't leaked ahead of the conference.
So.
I don't know.
I
The
mean, are
Wolfenstein
those
trailer
really...
was pretty good, I thought.
It was a good trailer, yeah.
Did you play?
I
Did you
just,
play
like...
the? Did you play the first one?
No. I played Evil
That's
Within.
why there's like a section in that game where he goes through an alternate like timeline where the Nazis actually do like get to the point where they are in Wolfenstein 2. So it's like I don't know if it's a branch off of that part of the game or if it's something else, but that part of that game was one of the coolest sections. So to see them kind of take that idea and run with it would be pretty cool. I mean, in my opinion, the Wolfenstein first game was amazing. So it's just
seeing this trailer made me want to play that game. So I'm probably going to pick that up and
I mean,
try it out.
It's a good mix of like a really solid story and old school kind of almost like, you know how Doom. Did you play Doom?
Nope.
No, I don't play video games.
I don't.
Those are two good ones, man.
I know.
Doom kind of captured
to play both of them.
Doom kind of captured the old school shooter feel, and I think it's Machine Games. Is who's the developers for Wolfenstein, and Wolfenstein did it well. Also, like they captured that old school feel of shooters, but kind of put it into a nice setting with a nice story, and it was a really impressive game visually as well. So, I mean, I was excited for that. I didn't play The Evil Within, so I really wasn't that excited for that. But the trailer was, I guess, well done.
Yeah,
I mean, it's all right.
The first game was not that good. I was very excited for it, and I was quite disappointed. So I'm not super excited for the sequel. But yeah, I mean, 30-minute show, and they announced paid mods.
Paid mods.
A couple of games that we already had announced before. They just kind of announced that they're coming out this year, but didn't give a release date. Like Fallout 4 VR, Doom VFR. They didn't give release dates for those. They just said they're coming this year. And then a couple of new things, but they were all sequels. And then it was good night.
Yeah, we actually played Fallout VR and Doom VR last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they seem to have come a long way. Mm-hmm. But I mean, there wasn't a huge surprise. I mean, that was kind of like their big thing, and it's like, who are they selling that to, though? I mean, is Fallout VR going to move Oculus and Vive units?
I think it will, actually. I don't think it will in a major way, but I do think that will get some people to jump on the VR bandwagon. The problem is that those games are going to take... You're going to have a 1080 or something really powerful to run those.
Yeah, and it looked like Fallout actually came a ways from what it was last year, where it was kind of point over there and go. That looks more...
I'm sure that's going to be an option. That's how movement in VR works. But
yeah,
they
I don't know
also
how closely you were watching that trailer. For me, I saw you were just actually running around. It looked like
yes. I'm almost positive it'll be an option. That's just... VR has different movement mechanics, and it's always, if they have one, you can almost always choose the other. I think only like Farpoint and a few other games have had regular movement and didn't also have teleportation. Because you seem very negative on teleportation, but teleportation is a very good movement mechanic in VR. It's how it works in a lot of games. Moving is weird. You can get sick.
I will not play. I get sick either way. So for me, neither one of those is going to work. Do you think they're going to have it for PlayStation VR?
I doubt it. I mean, maybe they got Resident Evil running. It looked kind of janky, but maybe they'll do the same thing. It'll just not be very high fidelity. I mean, they should if they can. That would really, really help reception for that game. But I don't know. They
Listen
advertised
to,
it with the
listen.
with the
I want to go
Vive.
back to something. Listen to this list of games that will have Xbox One enhancements. This means 4K upgraded stuff. I don't know exactly what it means. Anthem, Ark Survival Evolved, Assassin's Creed Origins, Astroneer. There's a lot of them. Crackdown 3, Farming Simulator, 17, Honor,
buddy.
Forza 7, Forza Horizon 3, Gears of War 4, Ghost Recon Wildlands, Hitman, Killer Instinct, Killing Floor 2, Madden NFL 18, Metro Exodus, Middle-earth Shadow of War, Minecraft, Need for Speed Payback, Ori, the new one, Outlast, Paladins, Resident Evil, Rime, Rocket League, Sea of Thieves, Slime Rancher, State of Decay, Super Lucky's Tale, The Surge, Titanfall 2, We Happy Few, and World of Tanks. That's a lot of games. Some of those games you've already purchased that you're going to be able to use right with the console. You don't have to even purchase any new games to experience the power of the Scorpio, Kyle. I mean the Xbox One X. Yeah, I mean, sorry,
Yeah,
there's not much more to talk about with Bethesda. It's kind of short and sweet, 30 minutes, and
No, it was.
I really wasn't that impressed. And if I was to give it a score, I'd probably give it a C minus, and it probably is deserving of a D.
Yeah,
Because paid mods is fucked. I mean, Skyrim and Fallout and Left 4 Dead are the three biggest games that I've ever used mods for. And if that stuff starts going pay for, I don't know that I'm going to pay for it. And I know that like the best stuff is going to cost money. The ultra high resolution texture pack. What's to stop them from launching the game and then a year later going, hey, we made some better textures for this game that we already made, and they only cost $19.99. Why don't you buy some Bethesda credits and come on down for a second? We're going to double dip on this one. We're going to take 20 more bucks for some, DLC.
Isn't that what Skyrim Special Edition is?
I hear you, but I get it. I get it. I just don't see what's to stop them from, like, being... It'll ruin those games. For me, like, there are so many good mods for Skyrim and Fallout on PC and consoles. I'd mostly have used them on PC, but they're like the skybox mods and like the texture mods and all the different stuff that people put obvious a lot of work into. They're going to want to get paid for their work.
Yeah.
And, that's going to suck. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. That's going to suck. I like getting it for free. And it feels, I don't know, it feels like it's going to start a trend. No,
I think everybody agrees that this is
successful, it will start a trend where all of that shit will be a market.
It's a bad road. It's a bad road to go down.
Yes. So they probably deserve less than a C. But we have to see if they'll actually hold to it this time.
Yeah. For their conference, what was so weird was just the way that they talk about Fallout 4 and Skyrim. They're just like talking about them like they're fresh, brand new games. And it's just like, guys, those are old games. I get that a lot of people love them. I still love them. But I'm not picking them up every day, and it's just like we gotta move on. We gotta move on from Fallout 4 and Skyrim, please.
Yeah,
I'm sure that they're working on.
They seem to have a focus with their press conferences of like, we're going to keep it fresh here. We're not making future promises. Everything that they announced, nice, didn't they say it's all coming out this year? So,
yeah. I wonder if they were being honest with themselves, they thought that they should skip the E3 presentation this year, and they just didn't want to have that on. They've now set the precedent that Bethesda has an E3 showcase every year, and so they probably looked at it and they were like, oh, we don't really have much to show. but we got to do it.
We're glazing over the Quake stuff because neither of us care about it. I don't think you've actually played that game, but that was,
played Quake.
They're trying to make that into something big. It's just something that I don't necessarily care about.
No, that presentation with the pro gamers was cringy. That was
it?
It was to me just like this, like pro gamers aren't made, or I don't know. It was like over dramatized. It was weird.
Yeah, I mean that stuff
Like
usually
Quake,
ends poorly when it's tried.
Quake,
when
fine.
companies try to make that stuff a thing, and it's not like a natural sort of evolution. But we'll have to wait and see. Quake is super popular, and QuakeCon is a pretty big event. So
yeah. So I don't know. What do you think of E3
I'm
Zero?
I'm taking it down to D plus.
Taking them to a D. Yeah, I would
Delta
D
Delta plus.
Yeah. That was.
You're in agreement.
The event was awesome. If anyone from Bethesda's listening, it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. It was just that the presentation itself was not great.
Oh no! Yeah.
Please, more
if
games.
Any from Bethesda is listening, we love your games.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm excited
Dishonored
for
2, which we
VR.
didn't even talk about either. That's getting a
what was
first
that?
piece
was
of
that
DLC.
A standalone?
They call it a
expansion?
standalone DLC, but I don't know if it's sold separately, like a separate game. I think you have to own Dishonored 2, which that's good. It's a new hero that says that they've got all new abilities and weapons and enemies, and she meets up with Dowd to take on the Outsider. So that's, I mean, from the trailer and from the description I read on the Bethesda website or on their press site, it seems pretty cool. I'll definitely play that. I mean, I gave Dishonored 2 a 5 out of 5. I think it's an awesome game.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it just wasn't enough to justify a whole press conference.
Right.
That's it.
Yes.
It was light. It was not impactful games, even when they were games that people were excited for. It was just like, oh, cool, it's a new Wolfenstein. Yeah, that's a good trailer.
I don't know.
Instead of like, oh my god.
Yeah, but you didn't play the original Wolfenstein, so you didn't catch I'm guessing that there were some people that were like, fuck yeah, this setting is cool.
Oh, I mean, you know how it is at these shows. There were people freaking out when they announced like the teraflops of the CPU.
The Skyrim cards are coming to Elder Scrolls Legends. What? Yeah.
Whatever they say, there's someone in the audience that's gonna.
Yeah, they're chanting. They're chanting for Pete Hines.
Yeah. But,
of course. If you give people enough alcohol, they'll do fucking anything. Give them free like giant drumsticks and fucking steins of beer for 2 hours. You're gonna have a rowdy crowd.
Chainsmokers came on after. I don't know if that was on the stream.
I don't even know what that is.
They're yeah, pretty much, kind of. I'm old too. I don't know what you'd call them.
What?
Nothing. What else we got? What else we got for Day Zero?
I think Day Zero's over. Day Zero is in the bot. Is over. That's it.
All right.
I mean, there probably was other shit that leaked out there throughout the day. Not really. I think we pretty much covered everything on the site. As far as news goes, I mean, we have roundups for Microsoft's well done E3 press conference and Bethesda's kind of shoddy press conference. There really wasn't. I don't think anything else really slipped out. I mean, you are on the ground there, so you said you saw. There's definitely something to be announced that they haven't put up on the building, right?
Maybe,
on,
yeah.
One
of the buildings. Yeah, they have the 2 tall buildings, and there's always big important games on them. Usually one is Call of Duty, and it is Call of Duty World War II, and the other building is blank.
usually Sony.
So maybe they're pushing something tomorrow. I don't know.
Who knows? We'll see. We'll find out tomorrow. You got to get up bright and early for that? You are...
no, Sony's late at night.
no, but Ubisoft is, right?
Ubisoft is 1 p.m. Pacific time, but I am heading over to EA for their little EA Play event.
You're going to be playing what?
Star Wars.
Nice. We need to get... So, yeah, you'll definitely... We'll have some gameplay of that on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/fanboyattack. This might be on YouTube. I'll see how I feel. But yeah, I was interested in that. I mean, that we glossed over EA earlier, but I mean, I wish they would have explained that game a little bit better than they did. But it seems like Battlefront 2 is way better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they seem to have learned from the mistakes of the first one.
Yeah, they're making fun of themselves. I mean, kind of felt bad writing that review for Star Wars Battlefront, but it was shitty. I mean, I don't know. It lacked a lot of things. Like the class-based stuff seemed pretty cool. So get in there and check that game out, Kyle. I would like to know more about it, honestly. I'd like to play it myself. If it's a good Star Wars game, fuck. So, yep, that's going to do it for day 0 for E3 2017 and coverage on attackofthefanboy.com. For our written news, you can go to our website, attackofthefanboy.com, or for our video stuff, which will have some stuff up for E3, right? I mean, it hasn't started yet. We'll definitely get some time with developers at some point. We'll have some Star Wars Battlefront gameplay. I don't know if we have any other gameplay sessions lined up where we're capturing, but
I don't know. Maybe.
You never know. You can check out our YouTube channel for that, youtube.com/fanboyattack. For Kyle, I'm William, and thanks for listening.